Let's go!
Time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome in. TGIF Friday, we made it. The get you to the weekend edition of the Patrick Johnson Show here. Thanks for being along as we get set for a very cold weekend ahead. Okay, got a lot to get to here, obviously. Pilk, let's slot what you were going to do as number 2 up to number 1, because I've got a lot of stuff on that presently. And we got Coach Steve Logan also coming up this hour, so many things to get involved in here. First of all, let me check with you, Pilk. Are you good?
PJ, I'm great. It's going to be cold this weekend, which means it's football weather. We got the divisional round. There's going to be some great matchups. We got Pirate basketball playing against those morons from down on the other end of I-85.
Wow.
Who wear green.
Your hometown university.
Yeah.
Your sister's alma mater.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I can say what I want. Free country.
Jeez Louise. All right, let us do the top 5. Let's go.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
All right, you do the number here, Pilk. Do it in the mic there.
Number 1. It's not as good as DeMarco, but number 1 in our top 5 at 5 today. College basketball point shaving scheme has involved 39 players across 17 different Division I college basketball programs where gamblers were paying them to shave points. Some of the games were bet on up to $450,000 on some mid-major games, P-Man. I cannot believe putting real hard-earned American dollars on mid-major college basketball.
Well, you know,
and hoping to win.
Well, here's the reason that is the case. Because who are the players not getting the obscene amounts of NIL and rev share money?
Yeah, I know. You can't go ask some kid who's played at North Carolina who's already making $1 million that you're going to pay him $10,000 to shave points.
Right, but that's big money for someone toiling away at the mid or low major level. Plus, those games aren't going to get as much maybe attention, but when you start putting huge amounts of money on those kind of games, it probably is a little bit of a red flag. So the players were allegedly bribed to tank the games, enrich the gamblers. The allegations cover a period of time from September of 22 to February of 25. There was also, I guess, fixing of games in the Chinese Basketball League. Talk about obscure. And, I think a couple of things here. Jai Short from Farmville Central has been tagged with this after or during his time at New Orleans. Of course, he's not playing this year. He still had eligibility. So this kind of leads you to believe what maybe is going on there. And why he didn't wind up somewhere. Maybe why he didn't wind up at ECU. I mean, look, college basketball coaches love to talk. And I'm not saying any of them were behind this, but the rumors fly in that sport. They fly big time. And, you would think with the guard play as hideous as it's been for ECU, more on that, that you would, if a guy like Short was available and in the portal, you would get him because he's a local kid and can play and is a championship-level kid. And I know his dad, full disclosure, this has got to be a tough deal. The East Carolina was mentioned in this, and we need to go on the record for this, obviously, because you can't, say East Carolina point shaving scandal and then have, people get all bent out of it. Because people don't read. Some of them can't. But, people don't read. And, what you're finding are people that are, going to the headlines and then, being able to want to say something snarky. You know the types.
And here's a 40-year-old, bearded, heavy guy down in someone's basement.
The keyboard cowboys, if you will. But and I remember doing this game. The kid for the Tulane Green Wave is Kevin Cross. And Kevin Cross was one of their better players. He had a terrible game that day. Well, reportedly, he got paid $30,000 to make sure that the Pirates covered the spread, which was 2.5. ECU was favored. And ECU won that game by 14. So there we are. That is that. I awoke this morning, thank God. Thank you, good Lord. Thank you, baby Jesus. I awoke this morning, and one of the first things I see, oh, gosh, who's the guy? He was a coach at Indiana. He was on ESPN. Now he's on Barstool, college basketball guy. Why am I asking you, Pilk? Because you don't know anything.
No, I don't.
Hang on. Barstool, former ESPN host. Not Rosillo. Come on.
No, I don't know anybody that works for Barstool. I'm Googling Indiana basketball guys. I don't watch Barstool stuff. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Scott Fleming.
No, he's a real flamethrower. Anyway, I saw everybody now's texting and all of this. Anyway, I saw a video, and he made a great point in this, and this is why I wanted to give him the credit he deserves, because there was this big push to let's make sure we institute sports gambling in these different states. But also, let's make sure we pay the players. Now, again, players that are making plenty of money aren't going to do this. But it's the kids that feel like they're being left behind that are ripe to be picked. And, I mean, I think it's fair to say that level would include the American, because we've seen it at Tulane. I mean, it's right there. The A-10. It's not unfathomable to think that. So
I mean, there was a Big East school mentioned in this. Now, it was DePaul, but they feel like they're the laughing stock, the outcast, the nerds, if you would, of the Big East. They're not getting the NIL money that Georgetown and UConn and Marquette are getting.
And so they're Dan Dockich. Good grief. It was Dockich that was making this statement. He did a reel, like a video, and posted it. So I wanted to give Dan Dockich his flowers on that. Now,
he was only the interim coach there. That's why I didn't remember him. He coached 7 games.
He was an assistant and was on ESPN. Anyway, Dockich was, trying to tie this to the ESPN, woke agenda, because he's got an axe to grind with ESPN. And there is an agenda, or has been at ESPN, to favor a certain side of things. But, and I even had somebody this morning who is a very knowledgeable person in the world of gambling, as far as its administration, tell me that, they wanted sports gambling. I think there are going to be more of these sort of things that will come out periodically. I mean, there's been a steady drip of them, but a drip over time. And it's all levels. And basketball seems like the most likely one to try and fix, because one guy can influence a game dramatically. Thing I gotta wonder too out loud. And again, nothing leaps to my mind right now as a recent situation. But what about the officials? Those are the ones that.
Patrick. I mean, I agree with you. But what I've always wondered, and my grandma sent me some article probably 6 months ago over the summer where not much was going on.
Did you clip it from a newspaper?
No. She texted it to me.
She's hip? Okay.
Yeah, she is. And it was talking about the movement of lines from when they opened to when they close since sports gambling became more regular. Now, yes, more games being bet on, more lines are going to move. I get that. But
Why
she
did you
was
bring this to the table one day? This is
I don't know.
I mean, that's a great topic.
Yeah. And I think it was like during our summer hiatus. And it was also talking about just now that the gambling thing is so big, and now that, this league is partnered with this gambling site, what's telling the gambling site to not tell the NFL, hey, you know what? 60% of the money's on Buffalo this weekend. Denver needs to win the damn game because we didn't build all these hotels losing.
Because, well, that's a good point. I think that's again, NFL
it's a little conspiracy theorist. I know, and she wasn't specifically bringing up NFL, but she's a big conspiracy theorist. So,
but I do think. I mean, it's also intertwined because these leagues are in bed with the casinos or the sports gambling websites. Networks are in bed.
Yeah.
So I mean, and these are the same networks that have to cover in news.
Yeah.
Now CBS got it wrong when they mentioned ECU in the headline.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad because there was an Eastern Michigan player who has since been suspended, but not an East Carolina player. Get your directions right. But it's a sexy headline, and that's what they go for there. But again, no indication that ECU or any East Carolina players in that time period were involved in that. It's just a game involving the Pirates at home had that situation occur.
Number 2.
Nobody's noticed I'm wearing what I just bought on eBay, this IBX pullover today. Nobody's noticed.
Bought it on eBay. I remember handing you a very belated Christmas gift from the company on Tuesday night when I saw you, and I think that might have been in the bag.
You know what? I actually like this.
It's nice, man.
It's very nice. Yes.
I've worn it a few times. Yeah.
It's too cold to wear. Too cold to wear the golf shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Little chilly today. Number 2, we'll segue our first one into our second one. Pirate basketball obviously fell Wednesday night, but we didn't have a show yesterday to South Florida. They will be playing Charlotte during the weekend, but after the game, Coach Michael Schwartz talking about how the Pirates did not capitalize when the Bulls went on a scoring drought.
Here's the difference that happened. We fouled in that stretch. We fouled South Florida several times in that stretch where they didn't get a field goal, but we put them on the free throw line. And we didn't convert some really good looks that we had.
The issue as I see it, Philip, is, and so I brought this stat to television the other day, and I've actually expanded it out in some of my pregame getting ready for that contest, which I'll be broadcasting with Jay Sunalder and Madison Little on Sunday at 2. The guards, and I've included all 5 of the guards who have received, what you would call minutes, maybe not significant minutes in the case of Patty Darcy, but Bailey, Calker, Imbang, Darcy, and even the new kid Gardner, a combined 28.6% from the field. You cannot win college basketball. You can't win basketball games without guard play. And here's the thing. You've got 2 guys who are maybe overachieving, who are maxing out in their play, in Jordan Riley and in Giovanni Imajuru. And because your guards can't make plays, the Pirates are outscored by over 3 3-point hits a game, close to 4 when compared to the opposition. They're almost getting 10 to 12 more points, the opponent is, from the 3-point line than ECU, because they can't make a shot. They can't make a shot from the perimeter. Now, you start missing free throws. They missed 10 down in Tampa. I mean, it's hard to overcome. The opponent's 3-point shooting, the lack of execution shooting the ball, and not making free throws, especially on the road, are going to do you in.
If you're going to play like that, there's only one way to win basketball games, and that is to run a really, really good full-court press where you get a lot of live ball turnovers and a lot of transition lips.
Defensively, and that's the other thing. The offense stinks, and we knew it stunk early
Yeah.
on. We got a pretty good indication that nobody could shoot on this team. But here is what blows my mind. How bad this team is defensively.
I mean,
not
that's
good
what's
defensively.
the MO of the team, or that's what the team's supposed to be built on.
Supposed to be. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be built on. And to me, that is the thing that is the most, it has been the most alarming. This isn't just a new thing. This is, and, look, I'm going to dive into Charlotte a little more later in my study. But, outside of losing the other night to a pretty decent Tulsa team, they've been getting by on the skin of their teeth on these things.
Yeah. They play good late.
And, yeah, I mean, they're coming in thinking we're going to win on their home floor.
Hmm?
That's what they're thinking. And, look, I know it's Sunday now, the weather, you can't believe all the hype of earlier in the week because they're trying to get you to watch their newscasts and all of that and click on their accounts and clicks and whatevers. But, I mean, it looks like now we're not going to have Snowmageddon, Snow My God, Snow MG. We're not going to have that. Have a little bit of mixed precip with some cold rain. It's going to stink. Well, you need a big crowd on Sunday. And I hope the university and its athletic department have done things to encourage the students to show up and to encourage the fans to show up. Sell the tickets for $5 if you have to.
Yeah.
Hell, let them sit in the Pilkington seats at midcourt if you have to.
I'll be up sitting in the top.
You ought to try to sit courtside again. Why don't you effort?
Just
that?
walk down there and try. Well, see, the thing is,
No. Don't do anything. Don't do anything that's not above board. But just pull your strings. You got strings. Pull
yeah,
them.
I do. I originally told my friends I'd sit with them though, and they don't have courtside seats.
Oh, okay. Well, then sit with your buddies. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're going as a fan.
I'm going as a fan.
Going as a partisan?
Yeah,
Are you gonna be in purple and gold?
yeah. I'm gonna wear my ECU basketball jersey.
Oh yeah. The one that you acquired maybe by sundry means. We don't know.
Yeah.
You got it though.
Hey,
I don't think anybody's missing it, but
no.
can you shoot? Because maybe you could sneak out on the floor and take a three.
I was never a great shooter. The problem is, Patrick, I was this height in 7th grade, so I actually was a decent post player. I learned I have decent post moves. The problem is I'm 5'9", which was good in 7th
Fun
grade.
fact.
I can't shoot.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I was the tallest boy in 7th grade.
I think I was 3rd or 4th.
I was the tallest.
Yeah, I was the second tallest on the basketball team. There were a couple like tall, goofy kids, but I was the second tallest athletic kid.
Everybody sprouted above me then.
They did. What are you, 5'8", Patrick? Because I'm 5'9". I think I'm a little taller than you. You're about 5'8".
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Yes. Spread that rumor.
All righty. Number 3, we're going to segue over to baseball. Kyle Tucker, big name free agent outfielder, signs with the Dodgers, $60 million a year, meaning he and Shohei combined are making $130 million. You're just two players on the Dodgers making $130. That is more than the entire roster of the Marlins, Athletics, Rays, White Sox, Pirates, Guardians, Nationals, Brewers, Reds, and Rockies.
Have I told you how evil the Dodgers are lately?
It might have slipped out, but we can do it again.
Yeah. I've never have said that, but now I believe it. This makes the Bregman thing that much more important because clearly they had a feeling they were not going to retain. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Clearly they had a feeling.
Well, no, but Bregman was with us last year. He wasn't with Houston.
No, but I'm just saying, no. Bregman to the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Cubs brass had to know he's not that Tucker's not coming back. Tucker ain't going to be back in the friendly confines.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why they made that move. And I don't think this kills the Cubs. Doesn't help. But I think they're trying to be preemptive with their strikes and still have some things to do and possible sign. I mean, look, some money's just been freed up. Tucker is $30 million of it's deferred, Bill.
Yeah, it is.
Did you? Now that's not Shohei. This is why Shohei Ohtani deferred all that money. So the Dodgers could go out and get guys like this to have them win a bunch of championships.
Patrick, I'm going to say one thing. This year, watch every pitch of MLB baseball you can, because in 2027, there ain't going to be a damn
Not
pitch thrown.
Nope.
If the White Sox are playing the A's, you better watch it.
Well, we need to get a good baseball guest to talk about that.
We do.
Somebody that's knowledgeable in labor. We tried to get Kristovich on today, but she's traveling again. So make note of Amanda Kristovich sometime in the coming weeks. I'd love to get her on because she covered the sports gambling
She
point
does,
shaving deal yesterday, too. Yeah, does a great job. Friend of the show, Amanda Kristovich. All right, next.
444.
Number 4, the first leg of the first domino of the coaching carousel has fallen. John Harbaugh, all-time winningest coach in Ravens history, Super Bowl champion, on his way to New York, to be the head coach of the G-Men.
You know, it's interesting that this happened in the way it did because, everybody kind of thought when Miami fired their coach, oh, yeah, this is where he's going to go because of the Michigan ties and all that, but not the case. He goes to New York. I don't blame him. I think it's a great deal.
Yeah.
I think of the available coaches because we don't know the exact status, with what happened in Pittsburgh and Tomlin's, whether he's still tethered to the organization
I think
and
he
there has
is.
to be compensatory picks. I mean, that's a pretty smart bet.
Yeah.
So of the clean and free available coaches, he was the best pick. Who's the team that seems to have the most upside of all the jobs? It's the Giants.
Other than Baltimore, which obviously they weren't going to hire.
See, again, I think there are problems in Baltimore.
Oh, there are.
I'm reading and hearing things that there are a lot of problems in Baltimore. And so I don't disagree with you. But it's going to take a special someone to come in there and make that work.
Yeah.
The roster's better than New York.
Yeah.
And the roster is probably better than any of – but to me, Pilk, this Giants job maybe is the one that – because you have a quarterback in place.
Yeah.
Everything else – I mean, I understand you have Lamar Jackson, but everything else is a little tenuous outside of New York and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because you have injuries to quarterbacks. You don't know what the situation is in some of these places with the quarterbacks. Tenuous at best.
Yeah.
So, I think that this is a home run hire for the Giants.
To your point, though, it's
sports radio is giddy.
It's not only a home run hire for the Giants, but like you said, based off what you said, that's what happens when you're a good coach that gets fired. Right? When you're a good coach who's still moderately young, you get to pick the best situation. He got to choose. I'm sure all other 8 openings wanted him, right? He got to choose. It's a home run hire for them, but it's a home run new job for him. This is a win-win for everybody.
And despite all of their failings of recent years, it is regarded as a stable franchise. As far as ownership goes.
I mean, historically, they have not gone through extensive issues.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the most extensive the issues have been.
Yeah. I mean, the last time they were in this much, even close to this much turmoil, Jeff Hofstetler was our quarterback, and they still won a dang Super Bowl with him.
That's a good point.
5.
Number 5, let's stick to football, baby. Divisional round. We're going to talk about it a little more with Coach Logan next, but PJ, it all starts tomorrow in the Mile High City. Broncos, Bills. What you got?
I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head. Denver's favorite.
Denver did not open as a favorite, oddly. They were the second time in NFL history. Yeah, a team opened as a dog, being the number 1 seed in the first round or the divisional round.
I think the Bills are too banged up.
I think so, too.
I think the Bills are too banged up.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jacksonville. That is a good defensive front. But they about murdered Josh Allen last week. Can you imagine what Denver's defensive line's about to do to him?
Exactly. So, look, but I do feel this. I feel – well, I'll come back to that in one of the other picks. So let's go Denver winning at home.
I'm with you. I'm picking the Broncos here. It was weird. I was on the Bills early. Like I was on the Bills when I did my bracket before, but yeah, going Denver.
All right.
Alrighty. Next, it's a battle of the NFC West. Speaking of banged up teams, San Fran, no George Kittle. They're going up to the friendly, quiet confines of Seattle. Not. Seahawks are favored by a touchdown.
See, I don't think both number ones advance, but they are. Seattle's advancing.
Yeah,
I don't see any way. I don't see any way they don't.
All right, then you
Again,
get
just too banged up.
Yeah, I'm with you. Houston and New England.
I'm going to ride with the Patriots until somebody beats them.
I am too, but it's hard for me to do that. Like, they have had a fairly easy schedule. Houston's playing good football. You know what? No. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going Texans.
You're going Houston? Okay.
Yeah.
You've been with Houston all along. All right.
I have. Yeah.
All right.
And then it is the MVP. He better be the MVP. Matthew Stafford going to Chicago to take on the kid Caleb Williams. Wrapping up divisional round weekend, baby. You know where I'm going with this. What'd you got, Patrick?
I'll go Rams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. The Bears have gotten by on the skin of their teeth. You ain't getting by on the skin of your teeth against Sean McVay. Oh, I'm ready for this one.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford adding to the legacy like he did last week, and he continues to add to the legacy. Gets his seventh career playoff win.
We'll continue on here. More Patrick Johnson Show is coming up with Coach Steve Logan's thoughts on these matchups and more when we come back on the Patrick Johnson Show that gets you to the weekend edition.
Oh, hey. Welcome back.
Oh, look who's back reporting for duty.
You got here just in time.
Holy nuts, man.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back. Great to have Coach Steve Logan on the program. Logan's Zone heard every Thursday from 5 to 7 on 94.3 The Game, and also towards the coast on 96.3, Talk 96.3, our sister station. Coach joining us on this Friday before the divisional round in the NFL. Coach also will get a primer on him, too, what he thinks is going to unfold between Indiana and Miami in Monday's championship game. Coach, thanks for being with us here. Really appreciate it. And congratulations, you're getting back in the game coaching-wise. Tell the folks about that a little bit.
Well, the main thing is I just weaned myself off of Prozac. Now I got to renew my subscription because of the anxiety that's going to kick back in. It took me years and years to calm down, but here I go. You know, I've told people a million times, football, you know, for coaches, in a lot of ways, it's a bad drug, man. It's hard to kick. And, you know, but the opportunity to go to work with some young men, that's what you miss. You miss the kids. And I do. And I've got a chance to work with a young quarterback, a young man that started at University of Kansas and was last year on the practice squad with the Indianapolis Colts. And he's a fabulous talent. I mean, really, I'm really excited about the talent level. And, you know, this kind of football, this will be my 5th year in spring professional football. And I can just tell you that it's the absolute sweet spot to work in because these kids are hungry. You never have to motivate them. You just roll the ball out there and prove to them that you can help them perfect their craft. And they will do anything in the world for you. And competition invariably it's a real level, even playing field. Everybody in this league has got the same kind of player. The coaches in this league are all real deal coaches. You know, I mean, for instance, I saw where Todd Haley, former head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs and longtime offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Columbus, Ohio franchise. You know, so I mean, it's real football, and everybody's getting paid. And I'm just, you know, looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. We might win a game, we might not. Who knows?
It's really great, as you say, working with pros and guys that are motivated, that are still, trying to hone their craft in a way. So kind of a combination of both the college and pro game in a lot of respects, but no NIL to deal with. And so when you look at all the crazy stuff that's happened, especially in the last 24 hours with the, announcement of these indictments, guys point shaving in basketball. I mean, it's just right now, the hits keep on coming between, opting out of bowl games and NIL and teams refusing to go to the postseason and rev share and sports gambling. I mean, I know it's always been wild in college football. Can you recall a time that's just been as nuts as this?
No, and in fact, my favorite, you say the hits keep on coming. Pilkington and I were talking just last night on my show. My favorite hit that came down the pike last night was the general manager of the St. John's basketball program. They found out he had pocketed $1 million of NIL money. And I said, exactly. This there's crooks everywhere. So, but it is, the guardrails are completely off. And, there's just you can all you got to do if you want to be entertained is wake up tomorrow morning and open up the sports page, because it's just completely nuts. I shared that Hollywood Smothers kid, the little running back from North Carolina State, good player. He jumped in the portal. So Alabama pays him a bunch of money, and he comes down to Alabama, enrolls in class, goes to class for 2 days. And guess what? Texas called him and said, "What are they paying you?" And I guess he said $5. Well, we got $10 for you. Well, bang, he drops out of Alabama. He's at Texas. So, it's just, and that's the other thing, another unintended consequence of all this money thing that is it's wide open now. There's going to be some blue bloods from the SEC, and Alabama being chief, Auburn being the next one on my list. They don't have tech billionaires and oil billionaires underneath their program. They've got a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but they don't have anything like Texas Tech, SMU, Oregon, and Mark Cuban at Indiana now. I mean, Alabama and Auburn, Tennessee, they don't have those kinds of folks. And so there's going to be things are going to change. And as we witnessed Monday night, you got Indiana, undefeated Indiana in the national championship. Well, 48 months ago, you'd have been put in a loony bin for saying something like that. And so here we are.
Coach Steve Logan with us on the program here, Patrick Johnson Show today. Appreciate Coach being on. I want to, what's crazy to me is you think back to when you were coaching, and again, I know that was kind of a different time, clearly, but I mean, had you given a kid a ride across campus on a rainy, cold day, the NCAA would have rained down with hellfire and brimstone.
Well, this is the vengeful little Steve Logan that is really enjoying this right now. I'm front row with my popcorn watching this, and here's why I'm vengeful and enjoying it, is because the torture that the NCAA put me through as a head coach with that kind of stuff that you just referred to, okay? And in the meantime, my generation of coaches kept telling the NCAA proper, you need to pay these kids something.
Right.
And their absolute arrogant refusal to do so has cost them everything. The NCAA now is irrelevant. They're toothless. They've been neutered. They're a joke. And in fact, we now have another attempt by the SEC and the Big Ten to create a new NCAA, which is called the College Sports Commission. And guess what? They're finding out they're just as toothless. So until somebody steps in and really and truly, and there's going to have to be an agreement from these Power 4 schools in particular about how we're going to behave. Right now, there are no standards, no rules, but I am laughing and enjoying laughing at the NCAA right now because they deserve every bit of this.
We could do a whole show on just the different agendas within these conferences that exist. Never mind the four conferences. I mean, you know this because you were at one of them in Boston College. That agenda is far different than the agenda at Miami. That agenda is far different from the agenda at North Carolina. I mean, the NCAA's got huge problems. I want to shift gears. I want to ask you a little bit about the Panthers announcing they're picking up the fifth-year option for Bryce Young. Now, they mortgaged the farm to get him, and it seems like that Dave Canales has sort of figured out a formula where it sort of mitigates the bad habits and has allowed him to maybe play in a little more of an effective way. What have you noticed what did you notice from Bryce Young this past season? And what does this tell us that the Panthers, obviously this is an extension of the rookie deal, so it's not big money or dead cap money that could cost him, down the road, at least right now. But what should we read into this?
Well, what you're reading into it is exactly, the Panthers are stuck. I mean, that's just where you are. I mean, as you said, when they jumped out and took this kid as the first pick in the draft, you got, my dad used to say there are no right or wrong decisions. You just make a decision and then make it right. And that's where the Panthers found themselves. They made that decision. Now they got to make it right. And I'm a big Dave Canales fan. I think he's an excellent quarterback teacher and an outstanding offensive coordinator mind. And I watched him all year long continue to poke and prod and customize things around the abilities and attributes that are available with Bryce Young, because they're not, he doesn't have measurables that are going to jump off the page at you. He doesn't have a big arm. He does have great DNA, championship DNA, I think. I think he's an outstanding kid from afar. And I think that, he's got a nice timing type throw. He's not going to throw a BB through a keyhole, which is necessary in the NFL. But they can, let me just say it this way. When you have a quarterback like Bryce Young, everything revolves around first and second down. And I mentioned this before, and I've been there as a quarterback teacher. I've had guys that I had to win first and second down because 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, I just didn't have the horse at quarterback that was going to solve that for me due to arm inability or whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's flip the coin a little bit. Give Steve Logan, Matt Ryan at Boston College. I didn't care about 3rd down and 9. I had a whole menu that Matt Ryan would execute and solve for me. All right, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, those guys. That's the ticket. That's the full package. But a lot of these quarterbacks, and I've had them. You have a first and second down urgency because you just can't lose both those downs. You got to get it down to 3rd and 3, and then Bryce Young is capable. But I've been blessed down through the years, all the way back through my college run. Jeff Blake could solve 3rd down and 10 for me. Well, guess what? He ended up being a Pro Bowl quarterback. David Garrard could solve 3rd and 10 for me, Pro Bowl quarterback. Mm-hmm. Marcus Crandall could solve it. He was a 12-year veteran in the Canadian Football League and a 2-time champion. And that, these are good players, real good players. And so that's where the Panthers are. And they're doing, I think, an excellent job of what they've got and what they're going to have for a while until they gather up enough resources to, flip their whole draft around and maybe try to draft another franchise quarterback. But guess what? We are what we are. That's what they always say in the NFL. And right now, the Panthers, with Bryce Young, are NFC South champions. That's a matter of fact. And so, it's not the worst place in the world to be. And they had a hell of a run this year, and they dipped their toe into playoff football. The core of that locker room now has knowledge of what that's like and what it takes to get there. So we'll see, what are they going to do with that? we'll find out next year.
Yep. Steve Logan with us. Steve Logan Show every Thursday here on 94.3 The Game, the IBX Media app, and 96.3. You hear it from 5 to 7 on Thursdays. All right, I want to get picks from you, Coach. Got a few moments here for the divisional round games. Broncos hosting the Bills. Really, it's a running back tight end game for Buffalo right now. And the Broncos, they're pass heavy. Broncos don't run the ball great. Buffalo can't stop the run. So when you look at that, how do you? To me, I guess the X factor could be Josh Allen.
Well, when it comes down. In fact, I was going to do this on my radio show last night, and never got to it. Let's do this. Go down. We've got 4 pro football games this weekend. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. The first one you mentioned. I always just look at the quarterbacks. Okay, Josh Allen, and then who you got for Denver? Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bet. What I do in these situations, if somebody says pick one, pick the team, I'm picking the quarterback.
Who's the quarterback?
So that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's the way I go about this. And there's all kind of, look at the defense, look at the offense, look at the turnover, blah, 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 blah. But Josh Allen, I think, has got more playoff experience, more big game stuff, as do the Bills. This is a little bit of a new adventure for the Broncos, so I'm betting Bills, even though it's at Denver.
Okay. Interesting to go that route then with the Niners and the Seahawks, because you got Darnold. And it's Purdy, Pilk. Purdy's still playing?
Purdy's healthy.
Healthy? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so what do you think there of that one? This will be interesting. What do you think of that?
It is going to be interesting. And again, look at the quarterbacks. So Sam Darnold put together that fabulous year at the Vikings, and then had a terrible final game for the Vikings that spooked the Vikings, and they let him go. Well, guess what? He's doing the same thing at Seattle. He's got 13, 14 victories under his belt again. And in the meantime, Brock Purdy and the 49ers have got a lot of playoff experience. In fact, I saw where that spread was like 7 in favor of the Seahawks. If I was a gambler, I'd take all of that I could get, because this is going to be closer than a 7-point game. But again, I'm just going to go with Brock Purdy, even though the Kittle guy is out of the game, and that hurts. But, again, against all normal thinking, I think I would bet on Brock Purdy and the 49ers until Sam Darnold proves, until he proves it. And I believe in Sam Darnold, but not until.
And then Sunday we got Texans-Patriots, so the quarterback matchup there for Houston, C.J. Stroud, Drake May for New England.
Correct. And, this one, I'm going to talk out both sides of my mouth. C.J. Stroud is outstanding. This guy's he's for real. And that Drake May kid is really, really, really for real. And Josh McDaniels, who's one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, is doing a great job with him. The only thing I would say, I like Drake May a little bit better than C.J. Stroud, but I would take the Texans because what I saw the Texan defense do to the Pittsburgh. Listen, you don't see that very often in a playoff game, and that was a curb stomp. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers could not block that defense for 1/10 of 1 second. So I'm going to lean toward the Texans on that one, but I do love the Patriot model right now. I really, I think that's a real toss-up football game.
All right, Coach, we're up against the break, so I'm just going to say you're going to go with the Rams, I would guess.
And the Rams are with who?
Stafford against Chicago with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, got to go. I'm going with the Rams, although the weather's going to matter, and I think it's going to be 40 below zero at kickoff, so it could be the Bears.
Hey, good point, Coach Logan. Matthew Stafford in his career 1-10 in bad weather games. Just throwing that out.
Well, that's because, forever he was with a dome team.
And he played college in Georgia.
Those dome teams, like I say, the Texans are a dome team, and it kind of spooks me a little bit about them going up to New England, too. So all that stuff factors in. The cold weather football is different now.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you guys later.
There he goes, Steve Logan. All right, we'll come back and wrap up the week right after this.
And now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
Thanks to the coach for being with us. We've got all kinds of great sports on our IBX family of stations this weekend. Easy for me to say. We got Duke and Carolina tomorrow. Oldies 94.1 for the Heels. Talk 103.7 for the Blue Devils. And then Sunday at 1:30 with a 2 o'clock tip. It is ECU at Charlotte. You can listen to it right here on 94.3 The Game and the IBX Media app. I'll be tonight with Sinclair and MyRDC for High School Hoops with Jay Sunhalter. I'll post it on my socials if you want to watch. And then we also will have ESPN Plus coverage. I'll be on that Sunday for the Niners and the Pirates. Thanks to Philip Pilkington. Thanks to Coach. Hey, have a great and safe weekend. Stay warm.